Everyone knows who Medusa is. She is a monster known in Greek mythology for her snake hair and her eyes that can turn anyone to stone. However, she was not always a monster. A quote from Austin Hackney says that the only monstrous aspect of her myth is how she's formulated according to an oppressive system of patriarchal views. So today I'm going to enlighten everyone on Medusa's true origin story and how she came to be the monster we all know her as. By doing so, I'll be discussing her past, the tragic events leading up to her becoming Medusa, and how she formally became Medusa. And the reason this topic is relevant to today is because Medusa's origin story sheds a light on rape culture. So as I mentioned earlier, Medusa was not always a monster. In fact, she wasn't even born a monster. She was born a Gorgon, one of 3 Gorgon sisters. She was the only mortal, and she was also the most beautiful. And a quote from Nicole Sadariga, according to Ovid, Medusa was born human, and she grew into the most excruciatingly beautiful woman. So when anyone saw her, they became entranced by her beauty, and many men asked her for her hand in marriage, and all were rejected until one took way extreme measures to make her theirs. So this is the tragic events that led up to Medusa becoming Medusa. So as a young maiden, Medusa was practicing to become a priestess under the goddess Athena. She is the goddess of wisdom, and a requirement to become the priestess under Athena is that a young virgin must dedicate their life to the goddess from Sri Jaya, meaning that you must practice celibacy. So one day, Poseidon looked and saw Medusa and became entranced by her beauty, and asked her for her hand in marriage. Medusa rejected him because at this time she was practicing celibacy. Well, Poseidon did not handle rejection well, and he took advantage of the young maiden and raped her on the steps of Athena's temple. So at this time, when gods mated, they became partners forever. So not only was she just raped and experienced a tragic event, now she was married to her rapist. So she went to Athena seeking guidance and help because she had no idea what to do. And Athena punished her for what happened. So Athena was ultimately embarrassed by the fact that her temple was just desecrated by Poseidon and Medusa. Well, I'm sure Medusa was also embarrassed considering she was just desecrated by Poseidon. However, Athena did not care, and so she punished Medusa for desecrating her temple ultimately. And she punished Medusa by revoking her beauty. And by doing so, this is where the snake hair comes in and the eyes that can turn anyone to stone. So, not only that, she was also sent to an island alone. And the only time she was ever visited was when men were sent to kill her. And who sent the men? The gods did. This is where the story of Perseus comes in. And so, in order to protect herself, this is when she ultimately began killing off the men. Because, as I mentioned earlier, she was mortal. So, once she's dead, she's dead. So, a quote from Sri Jaya says, she was scared of her power and angry at the gods for cursing her. So, she took revenge out on the men that were trying to kill her. Out of all the Greek mythology, I feel like Medusa's is one of the saddest due to how she became Medusa was by being raped. So I hope I informed everyone on how Medusa became Medusa and how her true story of why. And we learned this by discussing her past and the tragic event and Athena punishing her. And just remember, Medusa was never a monster, and in fact she was a beautiful Gorgon at one point in time until she was took advantage of by a god and then punished by another god for decisions she had no control over in making. And just always remember that not all villains are evil and not all heroes are saints.